here with Mark Moore. Got to explain the shirt, Mark. This is
Yeah,
Guns N' Roses, and you know, one of the famous things that Axl Rose says, he says, "You're in the jungle, baby. You're in the jungle, baby." I'm in the jungle with Mark. Anything could happen.
We create the jungle.
Yeah.
We don't just live in the jungle.
In an airport, Mark, on stage, at an event, you're preaching. I'm like, Mark could come up. He could change it. We could change anything. You're in the jungle.
Oh,
with
and
Mark.
now he's blaming that on me that he could change it.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So, okay, here's the deal. Here's the question I've got for you.
Right.
Tons of pastors in America, you know, like in my boat, you know, starting new, right?
Yep.
Diving into senior pastor roles and think, what, you've been around, like Mark, a couple, like, what would you say? Do more of?
Yeah.
Stop. What would you say?
Well, that's a phenomenal question, and you know, it's interesting. I'm fairly new to actually the pastoral game because I spent so much time in the college. But here's some things that I've learned in the past 6 years. I consider myself a newbie as well, but one of the things that I would say to every pastor, like, here's your secret weapon: learn people's names. It sounds so stupid, but the most beautiful sound, believe it or not, preachers, the most beautiful sound is not you opening a Bible, it's calling someone's name. And I think back to when there was a moment where Jesus told his disciples, hey, let's get away. Let's go across the lake. They needed some R&R. He gets over there. They mobbed him. Like, literally, that was when there was 15,000 people, 5,000 men, women, children. You know what he does? He sees them as sheep without a shepherd. And he taught them many things, and then he fed them. And that's such a great model for ministry. The other thing I think that we are afraid of is marketing. So you look at, you know, your signage, your programs, radio spots, it feels secular to us. It's not, like, marketing is not a bad thing. Now, here's the problem. When we do marketing, most churches I know spend way too much time on their app and on social media. Are those important? Sure. Can you get some bang for your buck? Yes. But most people spend way too much time on the least effective methods. The most effective method of marketing that I know, this is kind of a paradox, is reaching out to men. And what the problem is, men don't read, as a general rule. So you actually have to market to women to reach men.
Okay, explain that.
Well, the way that women read is, like, women will read more than men. So when you send a piece to someone's home, you want it to attract a female's attention, but you want it to be a program. So maybe I should say it this way. You market to women, program for men. And we do it the opposite. We actually program a lot for women. We think about fancy meals or flowers. Men could care less about that. What you did this morning at Generations, this cat here passes out beef jerky to every dude in the audience.
It's fun.
Not only was it fun, like, you also had the women go, wait, like, I want some, and all the men are going, glad I came to church today, right?
It was crazy.
Men are easier to reach, and they're more effective. Now, I know it sounds chauvinistic. It's not intended to be at all. But if you want to reach women, you have to reach men. Because if you reach women, you're not going to reach men. If you reach men, they tend to be the decision makers for when the family vacation is and when you're going to go to church. And they're mostly decision makers for when kids leave the house, whether they're going to stay in church. Super, super important. Let me say one other thing. Got time?
Yeah.
One other thing that I've changed is my sermons. A couple of different ways. When I first started preaching, I wanted everybody to know how smart I was. Now, I covered it over, like, I wasn't just that blatant, selfish, but I covered it over by saying, I'm going to be biblical. Biblical is important, but now I am more focused on being helpful than truthful. Now, look, you can't preach something like out of the Bhagavad Gita. I mean, you have to preach out of the Bible. But the Bible itself, every book in the Bible is written to a specific situation people were facing. And so the way I've thought of it, Johnny, is I used to start my sermons from the platform and try to push it to the audience with theology.
Yeah.
Now I start my sermons in the pew. Sometimes I literally go and sit where people sit and think, how is this guy going to respond to this? Is it going to be helpful? And the most important comment I get is not, well, I'd never thought of it that way before. Here's the most important compliment I get is a guy or a woman will say, I used what you said last week in my business meeting for my company on Monday morning. Wow. If you can take the gospel and put it in practical terms that actually change people's lives, and it does, right? It changes lives, it changes marriages, changes families. So if you can articulate in a way that's helpful, it makes the marketing piece way easier.
All right.
Those are my ideas I have.
Thanks for coffee, man.